It hasn't even been 2 weeks since we talked about Nintendo. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I made a big video where I talked about the past transgressions of this company and how much it actually despises you. Now, I actually missed out on a lot of things because there was just so much more to cover with Nintendo. But today's video isn't about the history. It's about a concept of what we like to call legality versus ethics, okay? Now, this video is typically sponsored to you by the actual Nintendo fanboys and fangirls out there. And you know who I'm talking about. I am talking about the militant losers on the internet that will defend this company to no end. The Nintendo could literally chop a puppy in half, and this person would come out of like any forum on the internet and be like, well, actually, it's within Nintendo's legal I'm talking to that person specifically, okay? I don't care what your opinion is. I already think you're a subhuman individual, okay? I already think you're below subhuman levels of individuality. So I don't really care what the opinion is. I'm just here to sort of talk about that side of the internet and the weird defense force that comes out of it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you look at what happened 2 weeks ago, there was something called Free Melee. Basically, a Melee tournament got completely canceled, struck down by Nintendo because they were using a third-party mod for a video game that Nintendo was not even profiting from anyways. All they wanted to do was play Melee online because we were living in a pandemic, couldn't come close together, and Nintendo was like, nope, never gonna happen. Now, there's a game called Splatoon 2, okay? And before we continue, okay, don't you think that I'm a hater for Nintendo, okay? If you look at this shrine and stack of Switch games, all right? I have an affinity to Nintendo. Okay, I definitely care a lot about this company. I've given them a fair chunk of cash. So before anybody says that this is coming from a Nintendo hater, bro, I've probably supported the company financially more than the fucking neckbeards that are simping for it hardcore. Let's just cover it right there. Now, Splatoon 2 is a game that's currently in rotation with Nintendo. It's their big competitive shooter. Okay, people play it. You know, if you're on the Nintendo platform, I played Splatoon 2 for a while. Didn't really suck me in, but it was a decent game. Now, Nintendo decided to cancel the fucking qualifiers for this game. And it's not because there was a weird mod or anything. It's not because something was going wrong. No. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo decided to get rid of this because the community that was participating in this Splatoon 2 North American circuit, this open circuit, 30% of them, 40% of them supported the Free Melee thing. Obviously they did, because the Nintendo community does stick together. The competitive communities will fight for another one, because at the end of the day, everyone benefits from it. I don't see what the controversy is, but this is what happened. So, if you look at the qualifiers real quick for this BS, you can see in the standings, they've got Meleetation, all right? They've got a Twitter account, Golf Club, hashtag FreeMelee211, hashtag FreeMelee227, Healthy Diet Food Groups, Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Free Melee was a big part of this, and these were the big standing. They were giving the slight support to the Melee community. Obviously, it was to say, it was a giant F you to Nintendo, alright? Obviously, that's what it was. And of course, it's well within their fucking rights to it. Just like it's well within Nintendo's legal right to cancel the tournament. See? That's where the legality aspect comes in. Nintendo is not doing anything illegal by canceling the tournament. But ethically, in terms of should they be doing it, obviously they fucked up. They're cannibalizing the hell out of the communities that have put them where they're at. And I know there's going to be the Nintendo nerd out there that's like, but Nintendo can keep their lights on for 200 years. Once again, I want to remind you to fucking leave the basement and understand the concept of a fucking business is to ensure that the community that you have cultivated is on your side through and through. Because it's not about keeping the fucking lights on. It's about fucking building more lights. It's about building more of a community. And it's about keeping those lights on and expanding from there. If all you think is about keeping lights on, then you have a lot of fucking growing up to do. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the crux of this BS that they're tossing. There was nothing else. There was no problem. Nintendo literally called in and they said, yeah, no, this isn't happening. You know, we're not going to let this go on because we don't want to see any of this Free Melee shit. You know, at this point, Nintendo could literally half-ass a Melee port onto the fucking Switch with bare bones online, and that would be a million times better than the fucking direction that they have taken right now. Nintendo will do anything and everything to fuck its relationship with the consumer base around it. And you know what? I think a lot of people have had fucking enough of it. The only people defending this shit are the people that are fucking their Yoshi plushie right now as we speak. That's the last remnant of the fucking Nintendo fan club that we have to go around with, okay? That's really fucking it. But before we continue to the next fucking thing, all right, which is a little bit more damning than all of this, is I want to shout this out right now. This is at endgame_TV, who is currently running like the fucking Squid House, which right now, because of Nintendo's fucking bullshittery, are now the highest running prize pool. I think it's something around like $25,000, which is a massive prize pool. So if you are in fact into the Splatoon community, you might want to start going to the unofficial side, because that is more profitable. That is definitely more of a community, more of a functional fucking community than anything Nintendo is goddamn cultivating. The other fucking weird thing about this whole thing too is what Nintendo has basically done to a fan project. Now, if you remember Eticon, obviously, you know, before he passed, he was huge into Nintendo, right? He was almost a Nintendo fucking hype beast. Now, at this point, Nintendo, what the community did after it was basically release a shell design, right? The Eticon, so to speak, right? They made custom shells, and they had sold those shells. Basically, it was like kind of like, if you want to look at it, like a D-brand skin, you know what I mean? Like just a skin for a Joy-Con. Nintendo decided to fucking cease and desist this shit too. Now remember, this wasn't being done for a profit. All of the proceeds here, as far as I know, was going to mental health charities. So this was literally a charity-driven project. This was built for the fans, and the fans who were fans of Etika before he passed, obviously they were going to buy this. They were going to get the Joy-Con boys branded fucking Joy-Cons. Nintendo cease and desisted this shit. This is really fucking stupid. Now, legally, yes, Nintendo can take this down. In fact, the logic here was they took it down because of the fucking word Joy-Con, apparently, because Joy-Con is a trademark for Nintendo. Now, I understand trademarks can be protected, and of course Nintendo can go out and state that yes, they are protecting their trademark. They can also therefore go out, protect those trademarks, and then in that specific instance, at least give one special allowance to this kind of stuff. I don't see why Nintendo had to take this down. I don't really understand why. Honestly, all that really happened out of here was just negative fucking attention and PR anyways. Again, Nintendo will do almost anything and everything to cannibalize the relationship that it has built with the fans around it. Especially recently, okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting pretty fucking bad. You know, we thought it was bad when it came to this. We thought it was bad when it came to what they were doing with Free Melee. We thought it was bad when it came to how they were dealing with fan games. We thought it was bad when fucking Mario 3D All-Stars was the lazy pile of shit that it actually was. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to think that this is the fucking goddamn beginning of Nintendo. Nintendo does a really good job lately of trying to not, you know, sort of encroach so much onto their crazy, crazy principles. Before being one of the richest companies of Japan, you think they'd have some fucking leniency? They do a really goddamn good job of not twisting the knife enough so that they can make their fucking point, but not enough that everyone gets outraged by it. But it's gotten to a point where within 2 weeks, they are slowly losing almost all of their fucking goodwill that they've built over the last several years, over the most pointless business decisions imaginable. Like I said in the beginning, legally, Nintendo can do everything that I've mentioned over here. It's well within their fucking rights. It's their property, it's their intellectual stuff, it's their trademarks. Hey, that's cool. Ethically, what Nintendo is doing is absolutely fucking disgusting. And again, like I'm going to reiterate, the last people that are defending the shit are the ones that have cum stuffed so deep in their fucking Yoshi plushies that the thing has fucking life inside of it. It has a micro culture growing within it at this point. If that sounds fucking disgusting to you, it absolutely and definitely should. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. Fuck Nintendo. All my homies hate Nintendo. This is me, Muta, and I am out.